By the way, guys, you can always get these episodes completely ad-free at tmgstudios.tv. Hello, everybody. I want to take a second to kind of explain what's going on here because I know a lot of you have tuned in recently and you're wondering what the f is the difference in this versus the other stuff on your channel now. This is the company lot, which I do every other week, and this is a place where I want to kind of dive deep. You know, I can't cover everything every single week, so I use this as kind of a catch-all to get into different subjects that I find interesting. Sometimes surface level, sometimes deeper. You can also get this on an RSS feed, so if you want to listen to these on, Spotify or whatever, you can do that. Honestly, I don't even know if people know it exists, so if you want to drop a review, please do. But yeah, that's what the company lot is. We do this every other week, and you can know that because whenever we do the company lot, we turn the lights on. So let's do that, and let's get started. Welcome to this episode of the company lot. Guys, big update from the White Hose, not the White House. That's what my notes say here. The White Hose say Elon Musk is not an employee of Doge. I don't know what the White House has to say about it, but apparently the White Hose, they say Elon Musk is not an employee of Doge. Yeah, they went straight to the New York Times, and it was 10 White Hose, and they were like, they talk like that. I think they're from Long Island. That's what one of my buddies told me. They're like, he don't work for Doge. That's what they said. Man, what a crazy couple weeks. And that, I want to talk about so much, but sometimes I can't believe what I see when I open Twitter. I opened Twitter and I just saw trending Elon botched dick. And like all this, there's speculation. And look, I just want to start out. I'm not a watcher, okay? I don't watch. We have a lot to bleep in the beginning, don't we? I don't say, I'm not talking about in the British sense, watcher. I'm talking about it in the ethnic sense. The spirit of animal fighting. I don't consume fights. I don't watch. That is terrible. Now, I'm not I don't speculate on others' wieners. But apparently, that didn't stop me from reading the story, which was people are saying that this dude has a botched penile implant. And that's all the info I need to know, that if the richest man in the world, he can't get it, none of us are ever getting it. So I read that and I'm like, I'm just going to let go of the chance. Not that I was hoping, but I think all guys, there's a 1% hope in their mind that like maybe in my lifetime, a girthener is for sale. Because you can never have enough, The government-employed Bop House, apparently they're, finding savings for us all in the government. Too little, too late, dude. I think we're about 70 bajillion down the drain. So 8 billion in savings doesn't get me excited. I think that's what the Dallas Cowboys sell in merchandise every 5 years. I'm not too stoked about that number, but I was reading some threads because if you haven't read this story, apparently Doge did some things to save some money in the government, and people refuted that, and there's a lot of back and forth about that. It doesn't really bother me either way because it's just zeros on a spreadsheet, and an asteroid is coming. Everyone's stoked about this asteroid. There's a dude on YouTube who's talking about how this can happen where the stat of getting hit goes up and then it just falls off a cliff. Some of you boys, this feeling. It's kind of akin to your behavior at a bar late night. You're making the right moves. You're on course. You're getting incremental percentages. Like, oh, maybe she's gonna take me home. And then you fucking fumble. And it's just fucking 3%, 4%, 5%, 0. So that is the a speculated path for the probability. And look, if it hits, wouldn't that be exciting? Would that not be exciting? Right? One of my boys growing up, he had, I think, one of the greatest outlooks on this. He goes, because I remember we were talking about an asteroid, or like an Armageddon, and my buddy verbatim goes, "Man, that shit would be sick. We get to see the end? Fuck yeah, dude." He changed my life with that statement. I was like, man, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, we get to end it? Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Would be brutal to be like 10 years old the year the asteroid's coming. You never drove, you never went to a con, nothing, dude. 7-year-old, you know. Actually, I say all that, and that might be my son. My son might be like 6, and there's an asteroid coming through the atmosphere. I'm to look at him and say, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry." We'll look in the sky. The sky's red. I'm like, "Fuck it, man." And I roll one. I'm like, just pull that in. Just pull that in, man. Look, we don't got much time. Pull it in. I love you, man. I want to cry as I say this. I love him so much. Yeah, pull that in, man. Yeah, it's a wrap for us. It's fucked, man. I wanted to like build cars and stuff with you, but we ain't gonna get to do that. That shouldn't make me laugh as hard as it is, but you know. I see why. You remember those clips on Vine when parents would give their kids blunts? I understand why. It is funny. It's funny to see a child just break all convention in a diaper, just fucking. That shit gas, man. Anyways, guys, in the realm of crypto, you gotta love it, man. Argentina's president did a little rug pull. And CoffeeZilla has a great video interviewing I believe the kind of the guy behind the coin, and it's a really great case of the way I interpreted the guy's behavior. It would be like me honestly explaining to my parents why I have cocaine in my room. It felt like on that level of shakiness. You know, it's like, well, I wasn't going to do it. I didn't even know what it was. My friends were saying it's Flintstone vitamins, and I certainly don't want to sniff it. I don't. And if I was just told what to do with it, that's why I'm glad you caught me, because then you can tell me what to do with it. You know, that's kind of the guy's general vibe. But I want to read this in case you haven't heard of it. In case your entire news feed is just giant rocks against space. The Argentine president Javier Milei, that's what I'm going to call him, has denied promoting a newly launched cryptocurrency, which collapsed shortly after he mentioned it in a social media post on Friday. The crypto coin Libra quickly rose in value before nosediving, causing severe losses for the majority of people who had invested in it. A judge will now determine if the president should face fraud charges over the incident. On Monday, the president said he had acted in good faith and dismissed investors' complaints comparing their actions to people who gamble. So this is the cop-out, right? You know, people gamble money. This is the stock market. But then, you know, same people will be like, oh, the stock market's an investment. So anyways, he spoke about the incident in an interview with Argentine TV. He insisted in a post on X, which contained a link to the site selling Libra, that that tweet did not constitute an endorsement. This is sounding like a Mr. Beast defense. I didn't endorse it. I just spoke about it. You know? That'd be like my last video if you haven't seen it. Sandra Bullock saying, I didn't endorse this treatment. I just spoke about Korean baby foreskin liquid being used as skin treatment. I'm not saying you should use it. I'm just saying it exists and I may have used it. I guess he deleted it. Now he's sort of scrambling to just like say that he did not rug pull this thing. Maybe he took a little inspo from Trump, because Trump, he's got 80% stake in the meme coin. That's so crazy. No crazier than Nancy Pelosi though, right? And she's raking it in. That lady's been cashing out for God knows how long. Must be sick to be on the inside and be like, I'm just going to get richer. And no one can do anything about it. Yeah, everybody stealing from everybody. That's how you know money is about to be meaningless. We're about to be trading. We're about to be bartering again. It's gonna be a barter-based economy. So learn a skill. I think I'm gonna barter microplastic magnets. I'm gonna create some type of magnet that can pull the microplastics out of your food. And I'll run a booth for that, and I'll pull the microplastics out of your food in exchange for various vintage, Magic the Gathering packs and stuff like that. Because that's where I'm going to be in the Armageddon. Is I'm going to be a hoarder. I'm going to be collecting cards in the Armageddon. That's kind of why I've got into Magic the Gathering, because I'm preparing for the Armageddon. I'm preparing for something that is offline completely. A lot of you are sitting here being like, it's a disgusting habit. Wait till we have nothing and we're trading blowjobs for food and we have no entertainment. And Magic the Gathering suddenly becomes, that's how we settle disputes peacefully. Because we don't want to go to war with each other because we're all hungry. And so we need an effective way to kind of make amends. Hey, everybody. I want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the United States, I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific needs. I've found that Booking.com is something for everyone. Truly, I use Booking.com on the road, and my tour manager does a ton, and we actually have saved a ton of money on hotel rates just using Booking.com. I have tangible, substantial savings from using Booking.com through my entire touring career, for the last 4 years. So it's been a great tool for me. And that is the truth. Booking.com is also great for just finding what you need. So no matter who you are, Booking.com can help you find a stay that is ridiculously right for you. Find exactly what you're looking for on Booking.com, Booking.YEAH. Hey guys, I want to take another quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Goodr. You know that feeling when you finally find the perfect pair of sunglasses, only to scratch them and lose them or sit on them 2 weeks later? Yeah, we've all been there. That's why I love Goodr. First off, their sunnies start at just $25, so you don't have to panic every time you throw them in your bag. And even at that price, they're 100% polarized, lightweight, and built for any activity. Whether you're running, hiking, playing pickleball, or just hitting the beach, hell, maybe even recording a podcast. Goodr's no-slip, no-bounce design keeps them right where they belong, on your face. Plus, they've got styles for everyone, from bold, vibrant colors to sleek, everyday classics. And with a 1-year warranty and a 30-day free return, there's literally no risk in trying them out. Obviously, you see how I'm rocking it. I honestly get in trouble for wearing these around the studio and just in my regular life. I'll go into a coffee shop and they go, whoa, SSX Tricky, take that shit off. You can't have those in here. You look too good. So very frustrating to be this sexually attractive while wearing these out in public. But I digress. If you need a pair of new Sunnies, Goodr is giving Company Lot listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/lot and use code LOT for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/lot and use code LOT for free shipping. Speaking of dystopian technology, have you ever wanted to hire a Vin Diesel lookalike that has the trained capacity to murder your neighbors? Nikita Bear, the creator of Protector, does. And you can always, here's the thing you can trust about technology in general. If there is a man, let's look this up. Let me just verify this before I say another word. Nikita Bear's height is not readily available online, so I'm going to guess he is 5'7". No, he's got to listen to this tweet here. I can't repeat this advice enough. If you want to get promoted at your job and find an attractive spouse, simply be over 6 feet tall. That is something an incel would say. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that he's 5'2". And here's the thing. I've put Nikita on the losing end of this spat, because if he were to ever see this and refute me and go, no, I am 6 feet, and then we'd make him take a photo in a door frame with measuring tape, and we win, even if he's 6 feet. I don't know if you lived in households like I did. My mom used to say, stand below the thermostat to see how tall I was, and then every time the top of my head didn't hit it, she would laugh. And she did that for the better half of a decade. And as I grew up, I realized she kept moving the thermostat up. There's a little trick she liked to play it on me. Anyway, So Nikita Bear rolls out this app, Protector. If you hadn't heard of it, it's literally Uber for hired security. Obviously, let me read a little excerpt here, and then we'll get into it, because someone actually did it, and the video is fucking cash. The promo footage is hysterical. It looks like wrestling hype. Let me run that first. While I look this up, I should caveat that the specificity of this app is hysterical. I'll look for the ad in a moment, but I think the best part of it is you can choose their uniform. So you can either tell them to dress like, we're going out for a couple hours on the links, or you can tell them to kit up and go full SWAT team. This is only available in LA. And I think what this is actually for is, I think this is actually to raid. We'll mute that, but we'll keep me saying it. Yeah, you can pick their dress code. You can actually set up how many cars you want in a motorcade as well. So, remember how people used to organize those pranks, faking like a celebrity in public? It's going to be so easy to do that now. Any remaining, I don't even know if people make pranks anymore. I don't think you can really prank people anymore. That's why pranks are so invasive. They're just like screaming in people's ears in public and pretending to shit yourself. But yeah, you can get very specific with this app, Protector. And someone on Twitter actually hired the service. It's fucking, this is so good because
have Secret Service level security. I just ordered private security through the Protector app. I literally just searched it up, downloaded it.
I want to jump back to the earlier point I was trying to make about height. It seems that Nikita Bear he may in fact be over 6 feet, which is unfortunate, because I was going to say leave it to a guy under 5'8" to create an app that's just, hey, I'm going to call my friends if you don't stop putting my head in the urinal. Hey, stop flushing my fucking hair in this bathroom. I'm a 35-year-old man. I'm going to call my friends. It's Call My Friends, the app.
Have Secret Service level security. I just ordered private security through the Protector app. I literally just searched it up, downloaded it, and picked how many
This is obviously an ad. Crazy brand deal to do. Hey man, do you want to promote a private security app that costs no less than $5,000? No, actually, it's $100 an hour for private security, which is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good fee. I'm going to hire this private security to raid Community Goods after 5 p.m. when they try to lock me out and say we're not serving anyone. I'm going to crash through the windows with my fucking bargain bin SWAT team. And I'm going to say, make that fucking flat white before I get everyone in here equalized.
Protectors I wanted. You can even choose what they wear and how many cars they roll up in. And then boom, they actually...
This guy's standing about face. What's great about the positioning of this security implies that the person who hired them is some kind of asset or detail, and no one wants to kill this guy. At least not yet. But I think after making this ad, I think now there are people that are like, I want to beat this guy up.
Showed up and escorted me. So freaking wild.
So you can basically pay for 2 Uber Blacks and everyone who couldn't protect Donald Trump during his assassination. But this is bad. Oh, this is great. POV ordered private security to take you to the airport. Yeah, dude. Yeah, getting dropped off at the Spirit Airlines fucking loading zone is going to look really extra now. This is unreal. Their TikTok's great too because it shows all the guys you can hire. I like how these are all shot like a drunk driving testimonial. Just like on the surface, like all these guys look like they killed a family, and you know, it's like 12 guys that are like, "Hi, I'm Stu, and I collided with a family of 4, and I pled guilty to my charge." This is the one that everyone was watching on Twitter. This guy.
I'm Jim. I'm a protector. I spent a life of service. I did 27 years with the Los Angeles Police Department, and prior to that, 2 years as a correctional officer with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. In terms of my military career, I did 12 years with the United States Marine Corps in the Scout Sniper Platoon with a combat deployment to Iraq in 2003, and I finished out my military career as a mission intelligence coordinator for the United States Air Force in the RPA community drone.
I can't take credit for this, but I'm just echoing people's sentiment. Like, so sick to potentially hire someone who has major PTSD, just spaz out on you on the way to Nobu, just goes into a fit of rage and just starts, like, he just jumps into the back seat and just starts beating you up in the back of an Escalade.
Drones, Reapers, and Predators. A protector isn't a security
what?
guard or a bodyguard.
What the fuck was that line?
We're all predators in the RPA community. Drones, Reapers, and Predators. A protector isn't...
Yeah, man. That's what I need in my private hired security to take me to Yogurt Land, is a guy that can operate a drone strike.
A security guard or a bodyguard. We're all law enforcement, prior military special operations, or often both. We're trained in tactical combat casualty care, risk mitigation, risk assessment, and site assessment. We spend our careers heading towards danger, but we're also trained to extract ourselves and our protectees from dangerous situations. We will be available in New York City for booking, serving you with quality and qualified...
OJK, you can get them in New York too. Yeah, man. Fucking. Let's see here. So all what seems like former servicemen. I'm curious about the Asian guy.
I'm Billy, and I'm a protector. I've been in full-time law enforcement for approximately 23 years. For the better part of the last decade, I've been a full-time SWAT officer, assigned to one of the largest and busiest SWAT teams in the nation. Prior to that, I've been assigned to detective investigations, gang enforcement, and patrol. I pride myself on being a...
These guys seem like horrible hangs. You hire this, you get all stoked, and they're just fucking... the 1,000-yard stare of death. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna hire 8 of these guys and just show up to the pool hall every time. Make myself look really important. People are theorizing this service will go horribly wrong. People are just basically saying these are fucking, mercenaries for hire. Which, hey, if you can do private military contract out in the world, why not have a few of these boys in your back pocket if you so choose? Funny to order these maybe wasted as fuck. You confuse this for the actual Uber app. And you just have a whole SWAT team pull up on you in the club and you freak out. And you look at them and you're like, yo, fuck the cops. And then one of them just... No, that's not funny. That is not funny. Also, what in that vein, now I'm imagining drunk people just trying to get into these guys' cars. Fucking, yo, Uber for Trevor, and then just get swiftly smoked. Just a hot 223 right in the shoulder. Oh. We had to protect our asset. Yeah, well, hey guys, it's available in Los Angeles and New York. Hire your private armed security for as little as $100 an hour. I'm going to hire one and just do a podcast with him. I'm going to maximize that $100. Hey, dude, are you cool doing are you cool making internet content? Or, maybe I'll just do the Jack Dorsey. I'll hire these guys, then I'll just go around picking fights. See if these guys really get my $100 worth. Get somebody fucking choked out at the Glendale Galleria for fucking with me. This is really insane. Also, they're releasing another app called Patrol, and that'll be crowd-funded neighborhood security. So that'll be cool. Now, instead of calling the cops on you for playing music too loud, they'll just send 2 prestige-level squads into your backyard for $200 to beat up you and all your friends. So that's fun. I've always wanted to hire a hitman, so now you can't get in trouble for it. Some fucking drunk guy hiring protector. That dude gets to his house and he's like, "Hey man, I want to kill my wife. Look, I don't know. Look, turn your phone off. Turn your phone off. Let's broker a deal. How much to kill my wife?" All this talk about guns really has me hungry to talk about computers. Microsoft released this quantum chip. Everyone is stoked about that. Quantum chip is not a new level of the Hot Ones show. It is a reference to what is called quantum processing. I like to assume you all know about quantum processing. But if you don't, I'll give you a brief overview. Regular computer processors, they operate in binary. And another way this is referred to is bits. So ones and zeros. That's what everything you see on your phone, everything you see on a computer, beneath it all, it's just ones and zeros. Everything is a nice, pretty layer on top of the ones and zeros. Quantum chips are interesting because they can operate with what are called qubits, quantum bits. And what that means is a quantum bit can either be a 1, a 0, or in the superposition, where it can be both a 1 and a 0. It can alternate between the two, and that's what makes it special. Another feature of quantum chips is something called entanglement. So they can tie other quantum bits to each other, and they can be reactionary. So basically, if a quantum bit triggers a 1, it can force other quantum bits in this theoretical processor to respond to that. Microsoft has published their quantum chip, which they refer to as mahzad, basically spelled like a Minecraft version of marijuana. That's kind of how it reads. And people make a lot of jokes about this, because this mahzad chip has essentially created a new state of matter, theoretically. And people are like, Microsoft will do everything but fix Microsoft Teams, and maybe this can run Outlook. And these are LinkedIn jokes. These are jokes for people who drive past homeless people and just turn the music up. That's who's making those jokes. Microsoft do everything but fix Microsoft Teams. And people are on fentanyl outside of their corporate building, and they just walk right past those people to complain about Microsoft Teams. That's who's making those jokes. But quantum computing is sort of it seems really cool on the surface, and it seems like this like exciting scientific thing. But if you do minimal research on it, quantum computing is not anywhere near like consumer or commercial production. This specific Microsoft chip, while interesting because they created a new state of matter, and the way they do that is basically on the actual quantum chip itself. There's like a topographical, I think it exists like on the edge of some computing fibers. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining this. It kind of doesn't matter because it's not like this thing is not even commercially viable yet. So by the time they were able to figure this out to be commercially viable, it'll probably look very different. But even still, okay, this quantum chip, it exists in essentially like a giant, what looks like a giant 3-tiered beer keg. And it has to operate at this extremely cold temperature because in order to achieve this new state of matter, it needs to be at a precise temperature, and they have to create a very specific context for this to work. Now, why does anyone give a fuck about quantum chips and quantum processing? Well, the biggest thing is that it can do math really fast. And for a while, people have talked about the potential of quantum chips basically nerfing the idea of passwords and just encryption in general. Because a lot of stuff on the internet, while it's not 100% secure, there's tons of weakness all across technology. At least some stuff is encrypted, namely your passwords. And a quantum chip could, in theory, decrypt a password in like 10 seconds. And so because whenever you enter your password into a website, I don't know if most of you know this. I'm not saying this like I'm some big brain guy. I'm saying this as a fucking, the equivalent of a framer in construction. I've done my fair share of writing code. I am not the smart guy who could write some shit in C from Sharp. I'm not that dude. Or I'm not a person that could write anything in C from scratch. Those were for people from the old world, literal wizards that sat in front of the computer. I was just a, ethnic hire that would work 16 hours on the job site. Whenever you put your password, when a website asks you to make a password, it takes whatever those characters are and it essentially scrambles them, and it makes a series of letters and numbers, and it stores that value. And so that value is what is matched against every time you enter your password in. So your stupid password, like, by the way, if you have a dumbass password like a pet, a fucking varsity number from your dumbass sports team that no one cares about, and then a word, it's like your pet or something, that easily decrypted. You don't even need a quantum computer for that. That shit is probably on the dark web. They have it already and they're trying to break it down. So this fucking doomer sort of wet dream of like everyone's passwords, everyone's texts will be sort of decrypted and exposed within 10 years. It doesn't seem that close. But, all that to say, people were speculating. There was a lot of speculation about quantum chips and quantum computing, and I think that all kind of turned a corner in the last couple months. There are a couple startups based on quantum computing that have raised a ton of money. Namely, there's like an American company, PSI something. I think they actually received a bunch of funding from Australia, and the Australian government is like, what the fuck are you doing with our money? And I believe they haven't supplied much answer, if any, because I think quantum computing it's just too expensive. Now, I think a big reason that Microsoft is able to pull this off is they are part of a program by DARPA, and DARPA is not That's not like a new TikTok word for the R word. You know how like people say unalived? You know, DARPA is, you know, that's not like a fun variation of DERP and DERPina. DARPA is it stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. I believe they are the ones funding Microsoft to, at least they have vested interest in Microsoft figuring out quantum computing. So I think the only reason that Microsoft is really pursuing this, obviously for the sake of technology, but you know, the military wants it as well. Google, actually, this completely escaped us. A couple months ago, Google, who, might I add on this show, I was called a bit of a tinfoil hat guy for thinking that Google was bad. I was told I was a little bit crazy for some of my opinions about what they may and may not do. I want to remind everyone that Google recently retracted their commitment to never using AI for weapons and weaponry. They retracted that a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. Hey everyone, we want to take another quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Truewerk. Truewerk is hell-bent on creating the most technical, high-performance workwear in the world. The Truewerk story begins in the Colorado mountains, where a trade worker knew there had to be a better solution than wet, heavy gear that was weighing him down. Truewerk was born. Truewerk sent me a pair of pants. Honestly, they're great to do just because I'm a handy guy these days. As a father, I find myself doing a bit more manual labor, getting my soft, ticklish hands in the mud, and just in general outdoorsy work. You believe me, right? Truewerk clothing is comfortable. It offers warmth and durability. You know, if you're looking for perhaps a work hoodie, their Truewerk M1 is insanely comfortable. It's got just the right amount of stretch, so you're never feeling restricted. And it's warm, but it's lightweight, so it's perfect for layering without getting too bulky. And you know, people would say their durability is next level. Unlike other hoodies that maybe lose their shape and wear out, the Truewerk M1 definitely holds up through just about anything. So whether you're on a job or you just need a solid everyday hoodie, the M1 zip-up is definitely worth checking out. Every Truewerk product is engineered for maximum comfort, protection, and efficiency with minimum bulk or extra weight. Denim and cotton canvas haven't changed much for over 200 years. Truewerk upgrades traditional classics by using the same fabrics worn by elite outdoor athletes. Soft, stretchy, and sweat-wicking soft-shell work pants are a major upgrade over wet, heavy jeans. Truewerk has over 50,000 five-star reviews and countless stories from trade pros in every state and every job across the country. So upgrade to Truewerk for a major change in the way you work. Truewerk helps you be your best when your best matters most. You can check out the full lineup and get 15% off your first order at truewerk.com/lot. That is 15% off at truewerk.com/lot. Hey everybody, I want to take a final break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Birddogs. Are you a blue-collar guy? Well, might I interest you in a sexy blue collar in its own right from Birddogs. Now, Birddogs doesn't just sell blue collars. They also sell khakis, namely the most comfortable khakis in the game. I don't know how often you guys are rocking khakis, maybe for work, maybe for a date. You know, you want to look sharp, or maybe you just want to look a bit more put together. If that's you, then you should check out Birddogs khakis. They are insanely comfortable, super stretchy, and they feel more like athletic wear than just regular stiff dress pants. A personal favorite of mine is the Jeff Bezos. Yeah. They've got a great fit and even have a hidden zipper pocket, which come in clutch. Their stretch khakis actually look like you're dressing up, but have the stretch and flexibility you need. So, if you're trying to show off at, on a date, work party, whatever, everyone is hitting the punching machine at the bowling alley for the company party, and you're like, excuse me, I do Muay Thai, and you want to singe that thing with your foot. These are the pants to do it. Other athleisure pants, they look shiny. They're too casual to wear to, say, the office. But with Birddog stretch khakis, you can finally have comfort with style. And their stretch khakis come in way more colors than just khaki. Graphite gray, hunter green. You're sure to find the right color for you. You'll also get to pick the waist and length size, so no more rolling up your pants because they came way too long. Or if you're, maybe looking for a new hoodie, they've got great quarter zips that are perfect for every day, a game of golf, again, date night. and everything in between. Whatever Birddogs clothing item you choose, you know it's going to be surprisingly comfortable. And for a limited time, our listeners are getting a free hat with any order. That's when you use the code LOT at birddogs.com. You get their best-selling hat completely free when you use the code LOT, L-O-T, at birddogs.com. Google's quantum chip, what is it? The name's blanking on me now. Willow. Yes, Willow. A couple months ago, it completed a test kind of with flying colors. It blew previous performance out of the water, allegedly. I didn't read deeper in on the test, and I don't know if this test is one of those where it's like, it's rigged to make the stats look good. I would imagine not, because you already have a ton of money. I think Google has, all reason to kind of demonstrate that they are factually where they're at in terms of the development of their tech. Yeah, but a couple months ago, it did I think it was like a random distribution test for quantum computing, and it did really well. So why does anyone give a shit about this? My pessimistic view is that I think quantum is just sort of a, fun little thing that people kind of hold up in the air to get more money, to be like, invest in us. My pessimism thinks it's just like a marketing thing, because I think they know that using these is a ways away. Because even late last year, Google's quantum chips were having problems with like error checking. And I genuinely find this fascinating. Quantum chips, they exhibit random behavior. I think I understand that right. So whereas like a normal computer processor, you give it instruction, it executes, and then it completes. I believe the problem with quantum chips is that you give it instruction, and sometimes it just kind of, parts of the chip just does what it wants to. And it's sort of unexplained. A way to counteract this was Google actually was affecting sort of quality control within the chip. So certain bits were verifying sort of the core chips or the bits, excuse me. It gets very confusing when you start talking about this stuff. But basically, they put quality control inside the quantum chip, and then that did well. But then the problem is that just kind of creates potential for more errors. So it just opens up what I would say is like, in my rudimentary top line programming, we would use software, and sometimes you get into what was called, or you'd write code and you get into something that's called callback hell, where code keeps being self-referential to a point where you have no clue where the fucking problem is. So, people were, this story kind of broke, and people were like, "Oh my god, this and that." And I think some of it's exciting, but I guess maybe I bring this up to kind of say you don't have to worry about anyone cracking your passwords anytime soon. I think that's the main point of concern people put out there. There was this thing with Google's Willow quantum chip where I guess scientists were feeling like because it executed this test, you could make the case that it tapped into alternate realities because it was computing at such a rate and doing so many tasks simultaneously that that processing could potentially exist in another dimension or something like that. I just can't wait for the day that they put these things in mini fridges and your Google Maps can calculate truly the fastest route. And in real time, it can actually give you the fastest route without taking you through a fucking intersection that is unprotected in Los Angeles. Yeah. I think that's the number one thing whenever I'm using Google Maps and I'm driving through LA and it's, it takes me through Hoover Street, through an unprotected turn, and it oopsies into a dead end. I'm like, I think this thing maybe it wants to kill me. Maybe Google Maps wants to see me dead. Why did Google AI suggest I wear a Houston Astros hat and send me to the east side of LA And why did it tell me to, quote, stand on business on the block and let them know I'm a real Hoover killer? Why did Google AI tell me to do that? I will say, I think the thing that everyone's excited about is pairing quantum chips with supposed artificial intelligence. And I know in the last episode I talked about like we're in this pocket of time where it feels like a lot is happening. It's hard to track with it all. It kind of feels overwhelming, and you hear a lot of schools of thought. Mainly being there's a lot of people that discredit the idea of AI. They argue that it could never truly be intelligent because it is feeding off of human input, and it can only be as knowledgeable as what we discover. Therefore, it's never, I guess, like it could never truly be sentient on its own. I could be butchering that a little bit, but it's basically like fuck AI. That's kind of it. And then there's other people who swear up and down that it's the greatest thing ever, and we're on the brink of a totally new society. And every other tweet on Twitter is like, it's like racism, invest in crypto, AI is the future, AI is not the future. And it's just kind of that rinse repeat. And then a few funny tweets in the midst of that. But if you were to pair an even like some, any kind of AI with quantum processing, I think that's what they get excited about. Because obviously AI is driven by what you can feed it. And if you could feed essentially maybe some type of model to a quantum chip, and it could execute on this information in ways that are not achievable by modern computer processing, maybe that's sort of like sky's the limit. Maybe that's what creates the Terminator, or unlocks just new facets of human existence. And it's a really funny clip is fucking Joe Rogan asks Mark Zuckerberg. He was like, "Oh, what happens if you pair AI with quantum processing?" And Mark goes, I'm not a expert on that, And he kind of, there's this thing where he's like, my understanding with quantum is that it's a ways away off. And for some reason I interpreted that as like a salesman, trying to, when you go, hey, isn't this a better deal? And they're like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't even ask yourself that question. You want this right in front of you. That's obviously me just projecting meaning onto the situation, but it definitely had that tone to it. All that to say, I think like hardware is getting interesting because there's even, like last year, maybe even before that, there were stories of people figuring out hardware that was like biological. It's like, let me look it up. It was 2 years ago. Lab-grown mini brains will be used as biological hardware. And then I think there was something even more recent where they're actually like attaching like types of skin and other just like non-mechanical features to like hardware. So I think, maybe it's like a layman's interpretation of it all. But if you look at like all these like robots with like skeletal structure and, people trying to figure out like actual synthetic skin for robots and, a quantum chip, like it all you could definitely start to fantasize about a world where you could create your perfect girlfriend. No, you can see how all of this could come together for something very weird and scary. And Microsoft is thinking that they can actually make their quantum chip, I think, viable in like 5 years or something like that. Who knows? I take it all with a grain of salt because I think all these guys want money. OpenAI, they had their big spat with DeepSeek, and that kind of, DeepSeek kind of took the wool off and exposed, like, hey man, a lot of this is money driven. And so any American corporation saying, in 5 years we'll be able to, wolf tickets as far as I'm concerned. We'll see. Put your money where your mouth is, dude. I guess the only thing that makes the quantum chip with Microsoft any bit, I guess, motivated is because the military's behind it. And we all know when the pew pew guys want their tech, they get it. something that does kind of attach nicely to this is Nvidia releasing this genome model, and I was reading the paper on this. It's fucking verbose. It's like 65 pages. I've tried to read the Bible. That shit is hard. It's boring. And I've read some boring material, and this stuff, it's like it takes you back to school. And it was really difficult to get past the abstract. Also because, I'm not in this field, so interpreting some of this is just not for me. I just don't have the brain capacity for it. But it's an AI model called Evo 2, and Nvidia it was like a co-release, or maybe they sponsored it, but the ARC Institute, basically, ARC Institute, put this out. And what is interesting about this is it can model genomes, but more specifically, DNA is not fully understood, how it sort of encodes like proteins and stuff like that. And having this information in an AI model, it sort of opens up a world where people, because this model can be used in a browser, or you can download it and use the software locally. And the idea, I think, it's very academic. They want people to be able to, people meaning like researchers and stuff, to be able to download this model and kind of create with it, and maybe they can find cures for different types of cancers, which I think they've already done. And a big push for this is like medicine. And what we know about that is an insurance company will make sure to get in front of that and make sure we do not get the care we need. We know that for sure. So I'm pessimistic about the benefits we will actually gain from this. But this is a bit more than designer babies. I think they can actually, I think the idea is that they can use this to understand DNA and like the human body at a level that has not been understood before. And specifically, I think it can be used to, again, analyze illness, which is crazy. It would be obviously very exciting if in the next 10 years this could be used to actually start to understand like things that plague us that we've never known in human history. But again, that could all be put to bed by an asteroid. So don't get too excited, folks, because we may get our own version of Pompeii if we're lucky. Oh man, I'm thinking of Hunter, this Papa Meat video. He did a video ranking Pompeii poses. Proof that Hunter is just the funniest person ever. And Hunter, if you see this, I love you, man. I think if I have to hit my Pompeii pose, I'm going to grab my dick and just... That's what I want the aliens to find. Grabbing my crotch and just... And I'm going to make sure to tuck the lower lip in. I'm going to actually pre-ash my mouth. I'm going to take a thing of dirt and just rub it in. Just to make sure it gets in there.